Yeah, okay, so I wanted to do this in real time. I don't know what the outcome is going to be. I want to try to figure out what is a sodomite. Let's ask Brave, what is a sodomite first? What is a sodomite? An inhabitant of Sodom, one guilty of sodomy. So it's got to be a person who's guilty of... Okay, so what is sodomy? Sodomy. Immorality in general. Wow, look at that. Immorality in general. That's the number one. The number one top definition of sodomy is immorality in general. Number two, any of various forms of sexual intercourse held to be unnatural, particularly bestiality, and then anal sex. So, well, I mean, by law, anal sex is not illegal. I believe that bestiality is illegal. And then again, but immorality isn't technically illegal, depending on the level or scale of immorality. Like murder is immoral, so murder is illegal. Rape is immoral, and rape is illegal. You can go down the list of things that are immoral that are illegal. But as far as like anal sex is not illegal. And then, I mean, you can watch porn that's got anal sex in it. Let's see, any of various forms of sexual intercourse held to be unnatural. Well, besides bestiality and, and a couple others that I don't know if I can say on YouTube, there's a lot of types of sexual intercourse that are, that's opinion. Like someone's opinion could be that doggy style is unnatural. I mean, but sodomy, the number one definition of sodomy is immorality in general. Wow, that's a pretty broad, thing then, sodomy. Interesting. I just wanted to do an experiment and see let's ask it another question. How about, let's see, what defines a sodomite? Let's answer it with AI. Guilty of sodomy, which would be immorality. Okay. Based on the provided search results, here are the answers to the questions. What is the etymology of sodomite? The term sodomite originates from the biblical city of Sodom and its inhabitants, who were known for their sinful and immoral behavior, particularly in regards to sexual practices. The word is derived from the ancient Greek word Sodoma and has been translated into Latin as sodomita, and subsequently into various languages, including Old French. And what are some synonyms of sodomite? Some synonyms or related terms that have been used to describe a sodomite include a homosexual, an effeminate, implying a lack of masculinity, buggery, a term used in British English to refer to anal sex between humans or between humans and animals, sodomistical, referring to sexual practices considered immoral or sinful. What are some antonyms? Okay, so this isn't really telling me a whole lot. In the biblical context, the term sodomite refers to inhabitants of Sodom who were known for their sinful and immoral behavior, including sexual practices considered abhorrent by God. The biblical account of Sodom's destruction serves as a cautionary tale about the consequences of sin and immorality. In summary, the term sodomite originates from the biblical city of Sodom and its inhabitants and has been used to describe individuals who engage in sexual practices Yeah, well, okay, let's type in something. Let's put in this. This was the guilt of your sister Sodom. Okay, watch this. According to the biblical account in Ezekiel 16:49 through 50, the guilt of Sodom, your sister, is characterized by pride, excessive food, prosperous ease, and failure to aid the poor and needy. This guilt further emphasized by the Lord's statement that they were haughty and did detestable things, leading to his removal of them when he saw their wickedness. In summary, the guilt of Sodom lies in her pride, gluttony, laziness, and refusal to help those in need, ultimately leading to her destruction. So let's look some more. Okay, so here's the quote in question. Well, let's look at the King James, since that's the most common. Behold, this was the iniquity of thy sister Sodom. Pride, fullness of bread, and abundance of idleness was in her and her daughters. Neither did she strengthen the hand of the poor and needy. I think this is the New American Standard, might be. Behold, this was the guilt of your sister Sodom. She and her daughters had arrogance, abundant food, and careless ease, but she did not help the poor and needy. Thus they were haughty and committed abominations before me. Therefore I removed them when I saw it. So when you look at this, behold, this was the guilt of your sister Sodom. Well, behold, let us behold. She and her daughters had arrogance, abundant food, and careless ease, but she did not help the poor and needy. Thus, what does that mean, thus? I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. Thus would mean as a result of Sodom having arrogance, abundance of food, and careless ease, but not helping the poor. As a result of that, they became haughty and committed abominations. Therefore, in conclusion, God removed them when God saw it. So it was initially what caused their sexual immorality. It stemmed from the arrogance, abundant food, and careless ease while refusing to help the poor and needy is where the abomination stemmed from. That's where the sexual immorality started, It's like a gateway to, the more they get away with evil, the more evil they want to do. And then the more evil they want to do, the more it pushes the boundaries to the point where it's become such an abomination that God just says, fuck this, I'm tired of looking at this, and just fucking annihilates the whole thing, But look at where it all starts. Behold, this was the guilt of your sister Sodom. She and her daughters had arrogance, abundant food, and careless ease, but she did not help the poor and needy. Thus, as a result, they were haughty and committed abominations, like all this sexual stuff that's attached to sodomites and sodomy. Therefore, because of all this, God removed him when he saw it. So it seems like it has much more to do with than just the general idea of sexual immorality. Like it starts somewhere, which would explain why the very first definition of these three definitions of the word sodomy is immorality in general. See, it's immoral to have an abundance of food and careless ease and all this and refuse to help the needy and poor. That's immoral. And all their immorality stemmed from that. It started with that, and it grew into this big sexual deviant thing. But it all started with immorality in general. And so the second definition is any of various forms of sexual intercourse held to be unnatural, including particularly bestiality. Well, I think there's one that's even more particularly more offensive than bestiality, but I don't think we can say that on YouTube. And then the third is anal. So, but the first is immorality in general. And then going back to what was the guilt? What was the guilt? What is the guilt of Sister Sodom? Sister Sodom. What is the guilt? Behold, this was the guilt of your sister Sodom. She and her daughters had arrogance, abundant food, and careless ease, but she did not help the poor and needy. Thus, basically, is as a result of not helping the poor and needy while having abundant food and careless ease, they were haughty and committed all the sexual deviancy that it's known for. Therefore, you know the end of the story of Sodom, right? Therefore, Sodom is removed.